I believe many people would want to be in his shoes, which surely not many can fit. Trace TV, seen in over 160 countries. It's so good to have you here, Olivier.
Yeah, thank you for your invitation.
You know, just tell us your journey. How did all this start?
Wow, it started a long time ago. You know, I'm from Martinique in the French West Indies in the Caribbean. This is a place where music is extremely important. You know, in the Caribbean we invented reggae music, salsa, bachata, zouk music, a lot of. So whenever you go in the Caribbean, you've got this very strong music influence. And I was also passionate about media. So when I was at school, when I was 16 years old, I created a print newspaper in my school. So I love media. And after I did my studies in Paris at the Paris Business School, I realized that there was no TV channel in Martinique that was privately owned, and I decided to create my first TV channel. So I launched my first TV channel in 1993, a long time ago. And there was a lot of music content in this music channel. And after developing this channel that is still up and running, in fact today, a few years after, I decided that I wanted to go to a bigger challenge. And I moved from Martinique to Paris. I became first general manager from independent record label that was really focused on hip hop and R&B, and most of our artists were of either Caribbean or African origins, mainly black people. And we had a lot of problems to expose these artists on the existing music channel at the time in France, like MTV or MCN, the French music channel. So I decided that I would try to launch my own TV channel that would be really dedicated to urban music and culture. And this is where, in fact, the idea of Trace started.
So how did you get onto DStv?
So in fact, DStv was not our first distributors. We launched first the channel in the French-speaking countries. And when we realized that there was potentially a market for an English-speaking version of the channel, we met the DStv people and introduced the concept to them. They were interested, but they said, look, we want to test first the concept. And at that time, we had already a French feed, so I told them, okay, let's test the French feed. And we tested the French feed, and we had, in fact, a lot of good feedback, but people were telling us, well, why is that in French? So eventually we decided to make an English-speaking version, and this is where we tested it again, and the feedback were very, very positive from the DStv audience. And we get our first contract on DStv like this.
You know, when people see you here, then I think it was an easy journey. You started in 1993.
Yeah.
What did you have to say, okay, this is what I have, I'm good to go?
Wow, you're right, it has been a very complicated and long journey. In fact, I started in media in 1993, but Trace, project that became a company started really in fact in 2000, but we managed to get the financing in 2003. And at the time I was living in France, and I met a lot of potential investors, bankers, and everybody told me, well, that's a very good, interesting concept, but we are not yet ready to put money in it. So eventually I found an American bank, Goldman Sachs, New York, that decided to invest in the project, but altogether it took me nearly 4 years really to put all the different pieces together. And at the beginning it was tough. I mean, we lost money during the first 3 years, and we were about to shut down the operation, and eventually we put money again, and we get all these contracts in many countries that could really validate the concept. But a lot of people think that we are an American company because of the quality of the show. This is not true. Right now, the shareholders of Trace are from Sweden, from Europe, from Africa. So we are a very multicultural, multinational company. But it's true that wherever we are, we try to maintain the same level of quality, and we try also to adapt our different channels to the reality of the geography. So right now we've got about 20 different TV channels, and we expanded the Trace brand also into radio, into digital, into mobile services, into events. So we are a multimedia group, and we've got a lot of projects to take also the treatment to the next level.
Okay, focusing more on Trace Urban. As a TV channel, obviously you've got a lot of artists that know what you're doing, like can you play our videos, can you play this for us? How do you handle the process? How's the challenge? How do you become diplomatic?
That's a very good question, because this is a challenge. Sometimes some of them will even propose us to give us money so that we can play their video. But in fact, we've got a team of about 12 different compilers, schedulers for the channel. And we've got a certain number of filters to decide whether or not we are going to play a music video on Trace. We put level of rotation, whether it's high rotation or low rotation. So it's about quality, it's about whether the format fits with the concept that we have for our different channels. So for Trace Urban, it's a mix of international content and South African / African content. So obviously we want to have very good music video. It's also we prefer to play a music video when there is also support from a record label. That means that the artist will be available for promotion, for interviews. It's very important for us that the music, the song is available online so that people can buy the song, because we want also this industry of music to work on, the challenge of piracy. So we know that we've got a real power on this industry, because whenever we start playing a music video, there's an impact on the artist. So if the artist can make money, it's even better. And I want also to use this interview to say that we pay music rights. I mean, people don't pay us to play their music video. So this is why we prefer not to be paid, but we've got the flexibility to make our own choice. So that means that even if it's a good music video, we might decide not to play it because for any reason we think it's not a great music video for us. So whenever we will play it, then we will pay some music rights for the author, composer, publisher, producers. It's a lot of people that make money from this.
Well, talking about content, was it one of the major challenges you would say you faced when you started off of the music channel?
No, in fact, we are an entertainment business where we've got hundreds of channels. So for me, it was very important, especially when you are in a pay TV environment. People expect to have quality. People expect to know exactly what they are going to find when they go to a certain particular channel. So we decided to develop different formats. From Trace Urban, which is mainly based on urban music, hip hop, and R&B, and the local African rhythm. But we've got also Trace Tropical, which is more on Caribbean, Latin American music. We've got Trace Sports Star, on sports celebrities, Trace Toka, Portuguese-speaking music. We've got Trace Africa, which is 100% made with African content mainly from Western Africa. So it's we are playing in an environment where you have to watch also the competition, whether we always try to make something different. We are going to launch certainly a new channel, and I give you kind of exclusive information worldwide that maybe will be about stories, fiction, drama, sitcom, animation. So we are working quite advanced to launch this platform before the end of the year. So we want to be one of the most important players as far as urban culture is concerned in the world. When we speak about urban culture, music is one pillar, one very important component, but you've got a second one, which is fiction. You've got also sports, you've got also animation, so you've got different things. So we want to be part of this ecosystem, not only with linear channel like the one you can see on DStv, but potentially also on the SVOD platform, on digital platforms. So we're working on a number of initiatives. We're going to launch also in the coming weeks a service in partnership with Celsi in South Africa, where we are going to offer a mobile service for really designed for young people that will integrate different content elements. So we want to diversify, in fact, our approach of our business to have multiple points of contact with our youth audience, which is really the core of our audience. So we're looking at this.
Amazing. So I'm sorry, I keep taking you back into the world.
Yeah.
to hear. You said you called the bank in the States to fund your idea. Was it that simple? Was it just a phone
didn't
call?
call them and they didn't call me. I met a banker. Goldman Sachs at the time, one of their investment firm was Urban Investment Group, so they had an investment vehicle dedicated to a project with a kind of urban dimension. Normally this vehicle was supposed just to invest in the US, but they loved our project. And in fact, at the same time I met with them, they met the guy who founded the Trace magazine, because the Trace brand comes from a print magazine at the beginning, and he was also looking for money, so Goldman Sachs introduced me to him, and we decided to try to work together, me more on the TV and the visual side, and he has his print magazine. So we acquired, in fact, the Trace brand, and we acquired also the magazine, and with the money from Goldman Sachs, we also acquired an existing TV channel that was available on a number of platforms in France and also in French-speaking Africa. And we rebranded this channel with the Trace brand. And we had to demonstrate that the concept was valid, that it was financially viable. So it took me more than 18 months from the very first time I met with Goldman Sachs in the agency. Which is not that long, it took some time. And I met a lot of other people before who didn't invest. So altogether it was a 4-year process.
So in that dark moment when you didn't have investors, when people were not agreeing to it, where was your source of strength? Where did you go?
I think for me, I knew there was something there. I knew that the urban market was going to be a dominant market. I mean, if you see now who are the dominant artists in the world, you've got Rihanna, Beyonce, Jay-Z, Akon, all these persons are the biggest one. In fact, what we call urban music became pop music now.
Exactly.
I met a few months ago Beyonce's father in New York, and I was telling him about Trace, urban music, and Beyonce, and he told me my girl is not urban, she's pop. Because when you say urban in the US, it's very black,
Yes.
When you're successful, you are not black any longer, you are pop. So, in fact, what is great with urban culture and on music is that this is not something that is really it's permanently evolving. And you can see also this kind of fusion between the American sound, the African sound. So there's permanently a kind of new generation of songs that are produced by a number of very creative guys. So on urban culture, it goes beyond music. It's about fashion, it's about style, it's about kind of swag, way to behave, way to speak, and movies, so it's a complete environment. And I knew that this would not be just a trend for a few months or a few years. Being also in the Caribbean, where we are very influenced by the American, by Latin America, by Africa, because our roots are from Africa, you could really see all this global phenomenon. And I knew also that there could be a voice that could be a voice that is not American. And I think that we are much more open to the culture from other countries than the American guys, because most of American entertainment wants to dominate the world. They consider they are the best entertainers, and it is certainly more or less valid, but not always. So what we want to demonstrate also with Trace is that there is a voice for urban culture that is not just the American voice. This is why we localize our channel. This is why we work that closely with all these South African artists in South America, same thing in the Caribbean, in France, or in Latin America, where we got some operations. So that was the vision I had at the time.
And what was your response? Actually, the African people's response, given the fact that you're not an African-based channel.
I can say that based on the research, and if you go and see all the awards that are over there, during the last 6 years in South Africa, we won the awards from the next generation, panel as the coolest music TV channel or coolest TV channel ahead of all other, TV channel in the country.
6 years in a row.
Yeah, so
yes,
we are
the
the preferred TV channel of the South African youth. So the response, they get the response. So they like it. I'm very happy.
That is power, a lot of power.
I think we managed to make a product and to engage with the audience that we found
We will have
a space in this environment.
A place where you mentor others.
Not just here, if you go to about 70 different countries.
You have to
currently, first of all, I receive a lot of requests from a lot of universities or schools or young people, association, convention. Whenever it's possible, I try to give a bit of my time so that I can share my experience, or maybe give a kind of example for young people. It's true that our brand is perceived as a very aspirational brand. We know that we bring success for a lot of young. So what we decided also 2 years ago, we created the Trace Foundation. And in fact, the Trace Foundation for Youth Success. And the person in charge of this foundation is Joël Kayombe. It's a model that used to be also the face of Trace. She's based in South Africa. So we have a website for this foundation, and we propose young people to post their projects. And if we consider that it's interesting and we can help them, so we help them, and part of this help that we provide them is to mentor them, not just by me, but with other people who can really give them some expertise, some experience, some knowledge that can be useful for their journey. So we try to give back using this foundation and to give really very good tools.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.